Mimi niko sawa, ongeza tu kuni hapa.
Unasikia nanuka kama majari?
It's so refreshing.
Refreshing?
Naipenda.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Get ready for the Shift Season 2. We're shifting from the studio to the grassroots, where policy meets reality. Your views meet government's voice.
This is not just about principal secretaries or any senior member of government. It is about you.
From agriculture to infrastructure, health to housing, MSMEs to the digital superhighway, a creative economy and beyond.
Get exclusive updates as Principal Secretaries share first-hand insights on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda rollout.
As we shift in transforming Kenya, we also shift from the studio to come to the field to check on what is going on, combine what we say with practically what is happening on the ground. Don't miss the program.
Every Tuesday on The Shift.
The Shift, Tuesday at 9 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Then just ask her out.
But we're not that close. What if I ask her out and she refuses? It's awkward.
What's awkward about that?
Thank you for liking me and telling me your feelings. But I'm sorry. I'm enjoying my single life right now. I just want to be alone. I just broke free from a marriage, and I don't want to jump into another one.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
Wellness is important in our daily lives, so that instead of just surviving, we should be thriving.
Ways to prevent a stroke or heart attack is for you to know what conditions you have by regular checkup. People don't know they have hypertension. They don't know they have diabetes.
I was pre-diabetic. I was afraid of getting lifestyle diseases because I come from a family that has lifestyle diseases.
How do you know if your cough is due to a serious condition? We'll have some answers. Stay well
and strive to make every day a healthy day.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Wow,
Wagwan, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth way the vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Colda,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa. Hadija ai, nani especially ukisonga.
Many thanks indeed for trusting KBC Lunchtime News. My name is Njue. We have a comprehensive bulletin lined up here for you on this 24th day of February 2024. We are also live on our social media spaces, including our KBC digital app. My co-anchor on the sign language interpretation is Lensa Odingo. Straight to the news. Pope Francis had a restful 10th night in the hospital as he continues to receive treatment. The Vatican says the Holy Father spent the night well despite the discomfort caused by the double pneumonia he is being treated for at Rome's Gemelli Hospital. On Sunday, the Holy See Press reported that the Holy Father was still in critical condition even as blood tests conducted by medics reveal early stages of kidney failure.
In an update on his condition Monday, the Holy See Press says Pope Francis slept well on his 10th night in the hospital. While his condition remains critical, the Pope has not experienced any respiratory crisis since Saturday morning. He is still receiving high flows of supplemental oxygen as part of a treatment for the double pneumonia he has been diagnosed with. The Vatican, however, did not provide an update on the treatment for what they say is early mild renal insufficiency. Doctors have said that the Holy Father's condition is delicate, given his age, fragility, and pre-existing lung disease. Prayers for the Pope have continued to pour in from across the world. Pope Francis, whose original name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, was elected as Pope in March 2013 and is about to celebrate 12 years as the spiritual leader of over 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide. He is the first Pope from South America and the first Jesuit Pope.
Well, Kenya and the rest of the world wish him a quick recovery. In other news, the Kenya Union of Special Needs Education Teachers are decrying lack of funding and learning equipment in special schools. Speaking in Naivasha during the union's 14th annual general meeting, the union's General Secretary James Torome urged the government to revert to the National Health Insurance Fund, arguing the current model was not working.
Teacher living with a disability and registered with the National Council for Persons with Disability should be exempted from certificate renewal after every 5 years. The KRA certificate of exemption talks are on high gear to remove the barrier of obtaining the certificate after every 5 years. Let the ministry now upgrade Kenya Institute of Special Education to offer higher national diploma. Ukimaliza huko utembee huko hata kama ni miaka 2, mwaka moja, you get a national higher diploma.
Still on education stakeholders are calling for the consolidation of all education bursaries to make education free. Speaking at a career exposition at the Chania Boys High School, the group argued that the kitties issued to members of parliament, governors, members of county assemblies and women representatives are enough to finance the tuition of all Kenyan learners if it was all consolidated and made corruption-proof.
Request the government if they can come up with a solution to provide free education to these students. Some of them, they are very bright, and some of them, their parents, they cannot afford to pay for their school fees. We have a lot of bursaries which are being released, and we're not sure if some of these bursaries, they are reaching out to these students. So if the government can come up with a solution or a system where they can come up, like they will identify those students that they really need some assistance, so that they can be able to support them when it comes to the school fees.
Tungeomba hivi capitation ya mashule iwekwe kipaumbele kama vile ya afya na masomo iwe ndio iwe imewekwa kipaumbele. Ikiwa sio hivyo, sisi serikali ya Kenya kutokana na kodi inaweza kufanya elimu iwe free.
Now cross over to the South American country of Haiti, where a Kenyan police officer serving under the Kenyan-led multinational security support mission in Haiti has died. According to a statement from the National Police Service, the security team came under fire from suspected gang members while on patrol on the 23rd of February 2025. The officer sustained gunshot wounds and was rushed to hospital where he succumbed to the injuries inflicted. According to the statement, the family of the deceased has since been notified. And still on security matters, residents of Kwabai in Njue constituency, Homa Bay County, have raised concerns over the increasing security cases in the area. The frequent cases of theft are said to be targeting livestock and other valuable property. The residents have attributed the increased crime to the growing presence of idle youths. The community is now urging security officers to heighten patrols and take decisive action against perpetrators to restore sanity.
Hatuwezi pata pesa kununua chakula, kutafuta karo ya shule kwa sababu kelele iko nyingi. Ufujo, watoto wengi wameweka vituko. Kila mara wanapiga wamama wakienda sokoni, wananyang'anya wamama pesa kila jioni. Sasa hata sisi upande wa mama tumeogopa hata kuenda biashara.
Wale wanasiasa ambao wanachukua watoto kwenda fujo hapa Njue, kwa matanga, kwa soko, kila pahali. Hatutaki, sisi kama wazee hatutaki. Tumekanya hawa sana, yule ambao wana haya hawa watoto kuja kufanya fujo hapa Njue, sisi ambao tuko hapa kama wazee tumekataa.
Moving on, over 1,000 fish traders at the Kasarani market in Busia County are facing losses after the county government issued a 14-day notice seeking to demolish their stalls and business premises. The traders expressed uncertainty about their future as they claim that the alternative market set aside by the county government cannot accommodate them all. They, however, urged local leaders to step forward and provide further guidance.
Hakuna vile unakuja na notice of eviction, unatoa watu kwa soko, unawapeleka kwa gorofa yenyewe haitoshi watu.
Pewe lease ambayo inaweza kutuonyesha kwamba mahali ambapo tumeenda ni soko letu, na ni soko letu permanent, hapana temporary kama kawaida. Ati mnakaa kidogo mnafukuzwa. Hilo kitu halijafanyika. Kwa saa hizi sasa tunaona mambo inaendelea tu yenye hatuelewi.
Residents of the informal settlement of Bulapesa in Isiolo County have hailed the improvement of the main road that connects the Isiolo town, led by Bula Salama area elder Yarea Mohammed. The residents decried neglect by successive government regimes since independence. The residents say the road has been in a deplorable condition, making it impassable, especially during rainy seasons, where they face difficulties in accessing crucial facilities like the dispensary and Isiolo town market. The 5-kilometer road that links Bulapesa dispensary to Isiolo town and the livestock marketing division is being improved courtesy of the county government of Isiolo.
Sasa Bula amebaki maka mingi nyuma. Sasa gavana yetu amefanya sisi maendeleo, tunarudishia shukurani. Iko mali na baki kama Bula Salama. Iko mali na baki gavana yetu tengenezee sisi. Ilikuwa ni matope, sisi abana vita, wakina mama abana vita, watu abai hakuna mali na vita, ni matope. Sasa tumefurahia leo. Aendelee namna hiyo.
Hata hiyo lami anasema ataleta, tuko na imani ataleta kwa sababu dalili ametuonesha ya kazi ishaanza. Hii ni ishara ya kazi kwanza. Dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. Tukumbuka Bula, tumesaulika sana muda mingi barabara yetu. Tunafurahia sana, tumeshukuru sana kutukumbuka kwa hii mara, tutengenezewe vizuri.
Moving on, the Board of Management at the Apegei Special Needs School in Teso, South Busia County is appealing to donors to help improve the school's infrastructure, which it says it's unable to support the education of vulnerable children. The school parents chairperson Lawrence Ekasiba says the institution lacks classrooms, dormitories, and clean drinking water. He added that students have been forced to eat their meals under a tree because there is lack of a dining hall. The school has a population of over 250 special needs students.
Hapa serikali tusaidie na maji. Wanafunzi hawa ni walemavu, hawawezi enda kuchota maji mbali, wanafaa wawe na maji hapa karibu ili wasaidie katika afya yao.
Pia tungeomba watusaidie kwa sababu ya hii shule, upande wa madarasa na mahali pa kulala kwa watoto na mahali pa kupata transport kama gari ya kushughulikia watoto. Kama serikali yetu, ningependa kuomba hii shule isaidiwe kwa sababu ni changamoto kwa watoto wachanga na kwa wale watoto walemavu.
Very well, now we come back here to Nairobi County, where we are heading to the county hall, where Nairobi County government is responding to the standoff between the Nairobi County government and the Kenya Power and Lighting Services in regards to accrued and unpaid bills. Let's listen.
Appeal has a limit. You cannot perpetually be in appeal mode or filing an appeal. So as we speak today, there is no such case before the courts known to us. And this matter has been litigated. A ruling has been made. They owe us a duty of payment.
On the revenge bit,
those are diversionary tactics. Like I've said, when asked the debt we owe them, we have been on the table. We've paid as late as last Friday. We did pay as per the agreement we have of payment, the payment plan. We are adhering to the payment plan. If they come to us, we'll also give them our payment plan, and they adhere to it. So it's not a revenge. It's just the mode of doing business. Yes.
Question, my name is Bradley from Capital FM. You mentioned of there are payments that you made in regards to as latest as Friday. Would you mind if you maybe tell us in terms of exact amounts that you paid? Because from their side, they're saying you bought them a debt of 3 billion in terms of electricity.
I will request my Waziri for Finance because he's here. He's the one who actually received the demands, and he's also the one who pays. And he has been following through the payment plan we have with them. Actually, I'm shocked today they talk of 3 billion.
Well, I can confirm that there is no debt of 3 billion owed. It doesn't exist. I wish they could have supported it. That is a figment of imagination, and as I said, it is driving the narrative to show that Nairobi County is unresponsive and does not want to settle its obligations. The fact of the matter is that Nairobi County, at some point, noticed that some of the bills that it was being asked to pay were for meters that were not even within Nairobi County. There were meters in Turkana. There was a school in Embu. There are meters in Kisii. And we said we need to do a reconciliation. Where are these meters that you're talking about? And we formed a joint team, verified meter by meter, physically, until we found the meters. And then we said, now we can ascribe a bill to these meters that you're talking about. Incidentally, this bill that Kenya Power is owed by Nairobi City County, about 85 to 90% of it has to do with public lighting. It is the bills for the street lights. It's not the bills for City Hall. Neither is it for the annex, nor for our hospitals. This is public lighting. And remember, public lighting is also a security function. And so, even the national government needs to then begin to start asking, this public lighting bill that is very expensive, could they be able to also look at easing that burden? But the truth of the matter is, I challenge you to ask them to produce that 3 billion shillings. I think they were doing it for public sympathy, to make it look like we are non-responsive. Last Friday, we paid them 113 million, 113, and that was what had been agreed upon, and we have committed to continue paying. We are very pressed as a county. Sometimes we experience delays in release of our exchequer, but despite that, we still honor. Despite the fact that we have not received money from Treasury sometimes, we still honor. So I think there is no 3 billion. That I can tell you very clearly, and I would also like you to challenge them to clarify where they got that. But I think the issue, the reconciliation that we did came up with an initial figure of 1.5. And we said now we have to check meter by meter. But 1.5, we said, okay, that is our beginning point. Let's begin there. We will clarify, we will come to a final figure. But the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is way leaves. Should Kenya Power pay way leaves or not? The law requires them to pay. They have been trying to fight that using unorthodox means. They have gone.
That is a live feed from County Hall, where senior County Government of Nairobi officers are responding to the standoff between the County Government of Nairobi and the Kenya Power and Lighting Company. Now the standoff emanates from a 3.1 billion shillings that Kenya Power said Nairobi County Government owe them, but they have denied in that speech that they owe them 3 billion shillings. Early in the morning, it was quite a standoff after the trucks from Nairobi County Government dumped garbage at Steamer Plaza. And the Kenya Power had to respond in regards to that. And they said that despite the fact that they had already cut power to the Nairobi City County, they restored that power back. And the Nairobi County governments with the last say saying that the power they're talking about, the power bill they're talking about, emanates from street lighting projects. We will be getting more on that in our subsequent bulletin. But moving on, stakeholders from the police department, community organizations, and animal rights advocates have called for a ban on the sale, purchase, and transportation of donkeys to save them from extinction. Speaking from Kedioko town in the border of Machakos and Kitui counties after meeting to assess the safety of the animals, the stakeholders decried increased cases of donkeys being slaughtered. The slaughter is said to be happening in forests, and the meat smuggle into the market, especially in Kitui, Embu, and Machakos counties. They have also called for renewed awareness among the community about the importance of the animal, especially in arid areas.
Ile ambayo imeonekana punda wengi wamechukuliwa pande hii, pia wanatoka kutoka all the way kutoka Wajia na wanapitishwa wanapelekwa mpaka huko Embu na zingine zinaenda mpaka Kirinyaga, na hizi ni nyama ambazo hasijakaguliwa.
When we allow the movement of donkeys from our county, they are ending up in bushes. And who are the beneficiaries? They are the people, they are cartels who are selling the skin either to the international market.
And we have agreed that we are going to stop the movement of donkeys, the slaughter of donkeys within Masinga and Migwani sub-county.
Elsewhere, the Ministry of Social Protection and the Directorate of Children Services, has launched a robust exercise to reintegrate children living in orphanages back into their families and within communities. Speaking during the rollout of the Holistic and Systematic Care Reform Program in Gatundu North, Kiambu County, Secretary Directorate of Children's Services, Shem Nyakuto, said the program aims to implement Children's Care Reforms Strategy. To fully implement the Children's Care Reform Strategy, Eastern Region Coordinator Salome Mudama has called on organizations working for children to partner with the government's Children's Department to offer them the much-needed support.
That in the next 7 years, all children should be cared for by families and communities. So we are training these officers and we want them to implement this care reform strategy where children will be taken back to their families and communities to be cared for. Yes, the reason is that it has been found that children are best cared for at home or with family members.
We work alongside the government to support the effort that the government has already demonstrated in terms of developing policies such as National Care Reform Strategy, Positive Parenting Program, so that children can grow with government.
Now, officials from the county government of Bomet have visited public health facilities and water projects within Kirinyaga County to benchmark on service delivery. The delegation, led by County Executive Committee member for Medical and Health Services, Dr. Joseph Sinotik, toured the state-of-the-art medical complex at the Kerugoya County Referral Hospital and the new complex at Kembembe Hospital. Sinotik said Kirinyaga had greatly improved on health infrastructure and service delivery, hence making it an ideal destination for benchmarking.
As Bomet County, we have solved issues. Even before we do it, we know we have what we are really coming for. So to speak on water, Kirinyaga County is a county in a rural setup, and it is a county that are free from water shortages. So this has really made us to come, because Bomet is also a rural county, and Bomet we still have issues to do with water.
We've come here to learn from Kirinyaga, and we were actually shown the various components of this very important complex and how it runs. We've actually planned, or we plan to equip our mother and child in Bomet County, and we are at the phase where we are trying to see where the fittings are okay, what equipments are required, and what staff are required.
Now, the government has been urged to tighten restrictions on rogue developers in housing projects who have defrauded unsuspecting clients of millions of shillings. Speaking in Membli Estate, Ruiru Sub-County, Naivera Incorporated Chief Executive Officer Charles Nyandia emphasized the need for enhanced oversight to protect buyers from unscrupulous sellers. Investors also cautioned Kenyans against falling victim to conmen purporting to sell them non-existent property. The appeal comes amid growing concerns over transparency and accountability in the rapidly expanding property market.
Investment space has been risky because players in the industry are not necessarily vetted. In as much as the government could be working towards that, there is self-regulation mechanisms that need to grow in the industry so that they can actually control such from happening.
Mtu kila siku anataka kununua nyumba lakini anaogopa na hana pesa, anajiona hana pesa. You are the lowest money, but unajua tunakuanga na pesa lakini ukiona ni kidogo unakula. Kwa Naivera hiyo kidogo tunakulanga ilete Naivera. Hautajuta na utaregret na utapata nguvu sana ya kuendelea mbele.
Ingeweza kuambia tafadhali muweze kujichunga. Na wakati najengwa unaangalia mpaka license yatika ujenzi hiyo. Unaenda una confirm kwako kwa county ama kwa serikali. Je, ni ya uwazi?
A consortium of human rights groups led by Amnesty International Kenya, Vocal Africa, and Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union KMPDU staged a peaceful protest in Nairobi in solidarity with Ugandan politician Dr. Kizza Besigye, who remains in detention in Uganda over alleged treason charges. The protesters convened at the Aga Khan Walk in Nairobi CBD before marching to Parliament to present a petition for the release of Dr. Besigye following his arrest last November in Nairobi. The civil society groups, which also vowed to stage another protest outside the Ugandan High Commission this afternoon, say they will present a petition to push for his release, alleging political persecution and an affront to his democratic rights. They called on the Kenyan government and the international community to intervene and help secure Besigye's release.
We're here to demand, even from Nairobi, Kenya, the immediate release unconditional of Dr. Kizza Besigye and others charged under similar offenses or provisions of the laws of Uganda.
So for him being abducted in a safe haven in Kenya and taken back to a military prison in Uganda means that nobody is safe. It is him today, tomorrow it will be you, it can be anybody else. And that's why we cannot keep silence.
And we are further calling on those who are responsible for the abduction and renditioning in Kenya to be brought to book.
We want a people-centered, a people-based East African community. And that's why this particular move of what has happened to Dr. Besigye, violation of his human rights, democratic rights, is of a special concern to us.
And again, it is very, very important that the country, Kenya, respects human rights, international law. You can never be abducted in Kenya and taken to Tanzania forcefully, or taken to Uganda forcefully, or to any other country, Ethiopia or Turkey. Free Besigye! Free Besigye!
Away from that, the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, is calling for concerted efforts to combat drug abuse. Homa Bay County NACADA Coordinator Samson Wambisa noted that despite ongoing efforts to curb drug abuse, community participation remains low, even among those directly affected by the issue. He emphasized the need for collective action to address the problem, which impacts families, workplaces, and also communities.
The level of awareness seems to be low, and young people tend to get into alcohol and drugs because of lack of awareness, then two, because of the myths that are associated with use of alcohol and drugs. Many a time they tend to believe that when they use alcohol and drugs, then there is some benefit that comes out of it. But now it is high time that we actually, debunk these myths so that we can actually say a fact about alcohol and drugs.
Having the community working group in place is going to enable us to go down to the grassroots level and basically know on how to tailor-make solutions for this particular menace in our community.
Very well, at about 30 minutes past the top of the hour. We are due for a fast break, but when we come back, we still have more news. And in sports, I'll telling you all about the sevens and also all the latest in regards to the matches played last night.
Then just ask her out.
But we're not that close. What if I ask her out and she refuses? It's awkward.
What's awkward about that?
Thank you for liking me and telling me your feelings. But I'm sorry. I'm enjoying my single life right now. I just want to be alone. I just broke free from a marriage and I don't want to jump into another one.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of technological innovation in a world that is becoming increasingly dependent on new digital technologies. Every Monday at 10:30 p.m.
Hili yago beka yago malisa hakuna mtu mwingine anakuingililia. Toa hapa. Mimi nimeogoja tafadhali.
Ni ukule hiyo chakula. Unaonwa saa hii kula. Very good girl. Very good girl. Nini?
Tuko na emergency.
Ile emergency ya
nipatie hiyo 200.
Mama Kaya hii ndio wako nayo.
Mama Kaya nipatie 200.
Mimi mutaharibu kazi yangu.
Chukua kunywa kama unataka.
Unaniruhusia maji?
Toka.
Unajua hapo unaweza ungua maji.
Mimi niko sawa, ongeza tu kuni hapa.
Unasikia nanuka kama majari?
It's so refreshing.
Refreshing?
Naipenda.
Get ready for the shift season 2. We are shifting from the studio to the grassroots, where policy meets reality. Your views meet government's voice.
This is not just about principal secretaries or any senior member of government. It is about you.
From agriculture to infrastructure, health to housing, MSMEs to the digital superhighway, a creative economy and beyond.
Get exclusive updates as Principal Secretaries share first-hand insights on the bottom-up economic transformation agenda rollout.
As we shift in transforming Kenya, we also shift from the studio to come to the field to check on what is going on, combine what we say with practically what is happening on the ground. Don't miss the program.
Every Tuesday on The Shift.
The Shift, Tuesday at 9 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity?
Welcome back and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, the chairperson of the Kenya Tobacco Control Board, Naomi Shaban, has vowed to push for amendments to the Tobacco and Nicotine Control Act of 2007, arguing that the current law is outdated and continues to endanger the health of Kenyans. Speaking at a 3-day workshop in Kakamega County that focused on community awareness and drug rehabilitation, Shaban highlighted the urgent need for reforms to strengthen public health protections. Stakeholders expressed concerns over the rising prevalence of substance abuse, emphasizing the need for a robust legal framework to regulate nicotine products more effectively.
Enforcement officers. Community health strategy is an important structure within the health system in terms of awareness creation.
I think we are trying as much as we can to reduce
the number of trafficking that is happening. So this one here, we are trying a lot.
Na tumekuwa some parts of the country na watu wanatuuliza mbona kama hii kitu ni baya, mbona msibani?
Now, Mbere North Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ruku has expressed concerns over poor service delivery by some public service heads. Ruku noted that many government officers appeared more focused on personal gains and engaging in deals to the expense of serving the public. He called for an end to such practices and stressed the need for a government workforce committed to serving Kenyans. Speaking at the St. James Catholic Church in Getivore in Mbere North, Embu County, Ruku called on the head of civil service, Felix Kosgei, to ensure that public servants are accountable in their roles.
Because you cannot explain why 60 million could previously work for 60 kilometers of mud, of gravel and grading. But the same amount of money, when we sit down and we say we need accountability, and we earn some little more money, we can be able to do 200 kilometers of road. There is excess wastage of resources, which the executive must stand firm to ensure the resources of the Republic of Kenya are not wasted. It's about people going to the public service so that they can serve Kenyans. At the moment, people are going to public service to make money, to cut deals, and that's why we are wasting too much resources for the people of the Republic of Kenya.
Let's now tilt the lens and focus on matters business, hygiene, health and nutrition manufacturer. Reckitt has appointed Mustafa Bugaje as the country manager for Kenya. Bugaje's appointment comes at a time when Reckitt is implementing a strategy to expand in Eastern Africa. Bugaje brings 16 years of business leadership in the fast-moving consumer goods industry with a track record of driving growth. He joined the company in the year 2015 and has served in key leadership positions across Reckitt, Nigeria. Now, Kenya has received 17 rare mountain bongos from the United States, a third generation of the critically endangered antelope that had been taken away in the 1960s. Cabinet Secretary for Wildlife and Tourism, Rebecca Miano, says the 17 will be slowly reintegrated into the country's wildlife ecosystem where they can breed and produce newer offspring, saving the current existing species from extinction.
The mountain bongo is designated among the critically endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. It is a subspecies of the bongo, one of the largest forest antelopes with a reddish-brown coat with black, white, and yellow-white markings. This repatriation comes after years of cross-nation talks that have seen several multilateral negotiations signed. Miano says the move is part of efforts to restore rich biodiversity in the wildlife sector.
This initiative is not just saving a species. Far from it, in essence, it is about restoring ecosystems, empowering communities, and safeguarding our natural heritage for future generations and from generation to generation.
The repatriated animals will be quarantined first in Meru and slowly reintegrated into the Kenyan ecosystem. They are then expected to breed and produce a different breed with the hopes of saving them from extinction.
So when we bring them back, we are doing what you call restoration. It's not only the recovery of the bongos, but we are restoring the habitats where they are this year. And remember again, in all those habitats, Aberdare, Mount Kenya, and the Burus, those are critical water catchment areas.
Let us remember that their survival depends on all of us. conservation is not the responsibility of a single entity or organization or government. Rather, it is a shared duty requiring the involvement of all.
These antelopes primarily inhabit the dense misty forest of the Aberdare Mountains and Mount Kenya. With males weighing up to 400 kilograms, their diet consists of leaves, shoots, bark, and fruits. The country has less than 100 mountain bongos, with plans underway to grow their numbers to more than 700 by 2050. Ndutamokami for Lunchtime News.
British American Tobacco Kenya BAT shareholders will pocket 50 shillings per share in dividends despite the firm reporting a 19% reduction in its 2024 full-year net profit to 4.48 billion shillings. The firm blames illicit trade and strengthening of the shilling as reasons for the profit dip.
British American Tobacco Kenya says regulatory uncertainty, illicit trade in tax-evaded cigarettes, and lower consumer purchasing power were factors that influenced the reduction of its 2024 net profit from 5.57 billion shillings to 4.48 billion shillings for the year ended December 2024.
In the domestic market, we experienced political tensions as witnessed during the Manda Mando or Gen Z protests. In addition, the appreciation of the Kenyan shilling against the US dollar had a material impact on the company's performance. Our consumers also continue to be stretched due to the economic environment, leading to depressed incomes and affordability challenges and subsequent shifts in consumption.
Finance cost rose sharply by 955% to 800 million shillings on account of appreciation of the Kenyan shilling against the dollar during the first 3 months of 2024. In addition, the firm paid 2 billion shillings in income tax expense.
Steep appreciation of the Kenyan shilling witnessed in the first quarter of 2024, we experienced both exchange losses and lower revenue collections in shillings.
Despite the reduced profits, shareholders will receive 50 shillings per share in June this year, which is the same amount as what they received last year.
In line with our strategic intent to deliver sustainable shareholder value, our proposed dividend payout for 2024 represents a 13% yield, which represents a 1% improvement over 2023.
BAT is urging the government to intensify enforcement efforts and has pledged to collaborate with relevant agencies of neighboring countries to fight illicit trade. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
In other news, public relations professionals should strive to tell stories that engage the public, inspire trust, and drive growth. Glasshouse Public Relations founder Mary Njue says by focusing on compelling narratives that resonate with the audience, public relations professionals can help counter misinformation and enhance public engagement.
We are report 2025. Lovely. There you go. Asanteni sana.
We need to go beyond that to become the bridge between communities and organizations with governments, and not just call it public affairs or government relations, but know that we cannot go beyond where we are as a country or as a continent without engaging governments and engaging them from a place of strategy, engaging them from how they communicate, engaging them from how they present their issues.
Now, women-owned and led small and medium-sized enterprises as well as climate adaptability projects are set to benefit from 130 billion shillings funding from KCB Kenya after the lender received the amount for onward lending from United Kingdom's development finance institution, British International Investment. KCB Group CEO Paul Russo says the cash will mainly target those in the informal sector addressing systematic challenges and cultural barriers restricting access to credit by women, which are key hurdles for those keen to start or expand their businesses. Russo says since the year 2022, the lender has extended 150 billion shillings to women entrepreneurs in the informal sector under the female-led and mid-enterprises preposition. time to play. The Kenya National Rugby Sevens team Njue finished 12th at the just concluded Vancouver Sevens, which is the fourth leg of the HSBC series. Kenya suffered a 19-14 loss to Ireland in the 11th playoff match last night, ending the Vancouver leg without a single win. Njue was relegated to the 11th place playoff after losing 19-14 to Uruguay in the 9th place semi-final. Their intent of leaving Canada in 8th position was dealt a major blow from the group stages when they began their campaign with a 24-0 loss to Argentina before going down heavily to France, who beat them 33-7. They wrapped up their pool matches with yet another 28-10 loss to Great Britain. Vincent Onyala and Samuel Asati scored the only 2 tries for Kenya in their game against Ireland, with Anthony Mboya adding the conversion points. Kenya, who collected just 1 point in Vancouver, will now head to Hong Kong for the 5th leg of the HSBC Sevens, which will be held from the 28th to 30th of March. They currently sit 9th on the table with just 15 points from the first 4 legs of the series.
What a spectacular try. Simon Desert getting it done.
And it was a bit of a commentator's curse, wasn't it, Wendy? Right after praising the Kenyan lineup, which has been so strong this season. Overthrown there and just simple hand.
Inside of the 22, they're down. Nice play there. Fooled everybody. And Argentina's got it.
We'll play on now with 7 on 6. And there is the massive hole for Patterson. Patched up. And putting his team in front. Arms flying everywhere. Norkia, Duarte, South Africa pressing for an equaliser.
The stars did not align for our boys, but better results in Hong Kong, we hope. From rugby to basketball, where the Kenya national men's basketball team is among the 4 teams that have been eliminated from the FIBA Afro Basketball and World Cup qualifiers in Libya. The Morans lost 55-47 to Guinea to finish 4th in Group E and bow out of the qualifiers with Morocco, Gabon and the Central Africa Republic. Kenya lost 59-88 to Angola in their second match after they were forced to forfeit their opening match against Tunisia due to logistical issues. Meanwhile, the Olympic boys and girls teams were the stars of the first junior NBA Safaricom tournament played at the Sabis International School in Nairobi. More than 500 junior players from 24 schools took part in the inaugural tournament. Olympic won the girls tournament, or the girls trophy, after thrashing St. John 25-3, while St. John edged Olympic 17-14 to win the boys' title. Some of the boys and girls who took part in the tournament will be selected to join the Junior NBA Elite 100 camp to be held in April this year in Mombasa.
It's been a great experience. There's been ups and downs, but overall it was a great experience. Coming here to meet people from very many different backgrounds and getting to play against them on such a stage, it has just been good.
It feels good to be winners. We've been working for this over years. We've prepared for this over time. It feels good. It was a nice competition. It was really tough, by the way.
The level of competition was very good. In some schools and in some academies, the standard was so high. So I think our kids are doing so well, and our coaches outside there are doing a good job to mentor and making sure our kids are doing the right thing.
In soccer, Liverpool strengthened their bid for this year's Premier League title with a dominant 2-0 victory over Manchester City to extend their lead to 11 points. Mohamed Salah netted his league-leading 25th goal of the season in the 14th minute before Dominic Szoboszlai doubled the advantage in the 37th minute. Liverpool led the English Premier League with 64 points from 27 matches, ahead of second place Arsenal, who have a game in hand. Manchester City are fourth with 44 points as they now fight for a Champions League spot rather than a fifth title.
It's a proud record.
As they always say, may the best man win, and especially when it comes to sport, well, that's where we put a cap on KBC Lunchtime News this Monday afternoon. Many thanks indeed for joining us, and don't forget to check out our social media spaces for this news plus much more. Not forgetting our KBC digital app. My name is Njue. Lensa Odingo has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. To have yourself a blessed afternoon and week ahead as well.
Mimi naitwa Cleopas Onyango, natoka Siaya, niko na bibi na watoto 3. Na mimi ni fundi wa Dixon. Natengeneza friji hizi za kampuni yetu, natengeneza microwave, natengeneza hizi TV zao, natengeneza hizi mablender zao zikifail kwa wenyewe. Hizo ndio nasimamia. Mimi sikuzaliwa nikiwa hivyo. Ni hali ya nyumbani. Kitambo kwetu hakukuwa na hospitali. Hata ilikuwa ni shida sana kupata hospitali karibu. Sasa unajua kupata wende udungwe ile polio, singeweza kufika hapo. Wazazi walikuwa chini. Sasa ndio ugonjwa wa polio ikakuja wakati umepata haujadungwa polio sindano. Unagonjeka na kuwa hivyo. Na hospitali ni mbali, lakini kama kungekuwa na hospitali karibu haingeenda hivyo. Wangepeleka hospitali wangangane nitembee. Lakini nimegonjeka nikiwa